Motorcycle design has changed dramatically over the years. The first motorcycle, created by Gottlieb Daimler, was built all the way back in 1885, and would be barely recognizable to modern-day piston heads. Not only did it come with stabilizers, but it was also made of wood, not exactly designed for a smooth and speedy ride. Whether vintage models from the golden era of motorcycle production or futuristic bikes which look as though they would be more at home in a sci-fi movie, these motorbikes are unquestionably unique creations. Number 10, Rokon Trailbreaker. The Rokon Trailbreaker looks like a strange combination of a motorcycle and an off-road vehicle. Imagine an ATV on two wheels, and you will have something close to the Trailbreaker's unusual appearance. US-based Rokon has been making the Trailbreaker bike since the 1960s, and it has even been used by the US Armed Forces. The Trailbreaker can tow weights up to 2,000 pounds and can climb hills with a 60% gradient, while the 14-inch ground clearance makes light work of most off-road terrains. The Rokon bike even has hollow wheels, which allow the river to store an extra 2.5 gallons of fuel or water. Number 9, Jaguar motorcycle. Classic British car company Jaguar is famous for their stylish executive cars, some of which even make up the fleet of vehicles used by the British royal family. However, while the company itself has not yet moved into the motorcycle market, Masso Concept Cycles have created their own concept bike, inspired by the iconic Jaguar hood bonnet. The smooth bodywork on the bike looks almost impossible to ride. But once you get the hang of it, the Buell S3 1200cc V-twin engines make it an exhilarating ride. It is the little design touches which make this motorbike so unusual, such as the placing of the front headlight in the mouth of the Jaguar itself. Number 8, Megola. Built and designed by Fritz Cockerell, in 1920. The Megola motorcycle doesn't look too weird at first glance. Sure, it looks a little dated, but that's only to be expected from a motorbike that is 100 years old. What makes the Megola very different from most ordinary motorcycles is that it was fitted with a 5-cylinder radial engine, which was actually fitted inside the spokes of the front wheel. This was fine on 1920 when there were few other road users, but if you wanted to bring the Megola to a halt, you had to turn off the engine, not much use in today's heavier traffic. Number 7, Nuracar. Created by Carl Nuracar, in 1918, and sold to the public in Britain and the US between 1921 and 1928, the Nuracar was a feet-first bike, which the rider sat on rather like a chair, instead of the more usual modern-day riding position we all know and love. It was a hub-center steered motorcycle, which means that the steering pivot points are inside the wheel hub, not above the wheel as in normal bikes. In fact, it was one of the most successful hub-center steered vehicles, selling 16,500 units. Number 6, Quasar. Bringing us closer to the present, but probably even further away from our expectation of what a motorcycle should look like, is the Quasar. The sci-fi name probably gives it away as a creation of the 1970s. And a limited number of these semi-enclosed, feet-forward bikes were sold between 1975 and 1982. Created by 3 British motorcycle engineers, the Quasar used an engine which had been taken from a Reliant Robin 3-wheeled car, before being repurposed for use on 2 wheels. Unlike the notoriously unreliable Robin, the curious-looking Quasar was able to reach speeds of up to 100 miles per hour. Number 5. Peravs Monatress. The Peravs Monatress may almost be unrecognizable as a motorbike, but given the amount of cutting-edge technology which has been used in the development of this vehicle, it could well be an indication of how the motorcycle industry is going to develop in the future. It is a street-legal motorcycle, but the seated area is completely enclosed by a cabin made from an expensive combination of carbon and Kevlar, the material used in bulletproof vests. You don't climb onto this bike either, you get into the luxurious cabin via a set of gull-wing doors which would be more at home on a sports car. Number 4, Rhino. The Rhino may seem like an outrageously dangerous concept, But there are plenty of people who are willing to give this unusual creation a try. And it isn't as unbalanced as you might think. The microcycle uses a combination of gyroscope sensors and accelerometers, along with the rider's own sense of balance, to keep itself upright. The Rhino doesn't even accelerate like normal motorcycles. Instead, the rider leans forward to speed up, rather like you might do if you were riding on a Segway. Number 3. Piaggio MP3. The Piaggio MP3 is a so-called maxi scooter. It may look more like a scooter than a motorbike, but it is much more powerful than your average Vespa. What makes this scooter motorcycle so unusual is its rather unorthodox wheel configuration. The Piaggio MP3 is a trike, but not a trike as we know it. Most trikes have two wheels at the back and one at the front, while the Piaggio MP3 has two wheels at the front, located close together, and one wheel at the rear, making it easier to ride than a scooter or motorbike, but still a more compact option than a genuine trike. Number 2. Bosshoss Gangsta trike. On the other hand, the Bosshoss Gangsta trike looks much more like the conventional trike vehicle most people would imagine, although even this motorcycle has plenty of unusual and eye-catching features. This is a beast of a bike, weighing in at 150 pounds. These custom-built machines can be tailored to your own tastes too, using either the back of a 1957 Chevy or Corvette to make the Gangsta trike's own rear section. Choose from two 8-cylinder engine options as well, the 295 horsepower LS300 engine or the impressively powerful 445 horsepower LS445 engine. Guaranteed to get heads turning when one of these might machines drives past. Number 1. Evolve Xenon Light Cycle. If you're a fan of the movie Tron, then the Evolve Xenon Light Cycle is definitely the bike for you. Looking uncannily close to the futuristic machines which feature in both the original 1982 movie and the 2010 remake, you could easily imagine yourself as part of a sci-fi world while riding one of these machines. Such fantasies don't come cheap, however, and the Xenon Light Cycle will set you back a cool $55,000, although it does feature an environmentally friendly, and very 21st century, electric engine, which has a charge of up to 30 miles, and which can power the rider at speeds of 100 miles per hour. If you enjoyed the video, it would be amazing if you like, share and subscribe to the channel. See you next time with more.